massive crime scene. Police say somebody began wildly shooting on this block here in West Philadelphia near 60th and Chestnut during the peak of the fireworks just after 10:30. Nearly 100 shots fired down this street. 3 people hit, including a young man who runs that popular clothing brand store. He planned this barbecue right outside his storefront, but then one or possibly multiple gunmen began firing into the crowd.
Somebody just decided to shoot into a crowd of a bunch of kids. People started running. It was fireworks. When you got fireworks and gunshots at the same time.
Over 100 shots fired on a city block in West Philadelphia. 2 lay dead and another victim wounded. One of the dead was Sicarr Johnson Jr., an entrepreneur in the city. He opened up a store in West Philadelphia, and on the 4th of July, he decided to have a big block party and invited a whole host of his friends. At that party, they were having a good time, and at some time during the night, a car pulled up and a local gang jumped out and opened fire into the crowd. And as you can see here, you can see Sicarr's father explaining what happened.
Son is the greatest person, other than my grandmama and my grandpa, I've ever known in my life. He's everything I wish I would have been. Like, he's not just anybody who just the 287 or 89. I can't keep counting no more.
There was chaos that night all over West Philadelphia, where all kinds of things was happening in the aftermath of that shooting. The next morning, you could see his mother and a lot of the family members outside mourning the death of Sicarr and also Saladin Mahmoud.
People are cruel! I knew they was going to take my baby! Police.
After a year and a half, the City of Philadelphia District Attorney's Office, Larry Krasner, has announced that there's been arrests made in last year's 4th of July shooting. Anthony Woodson and Jalen Mickens, along with a whole host of others, have been arrested in connection with this shooting on the 4th of July last year. It's been a long time coming, and also we'll hear again from Sicarr's mother.
Thank you. Because so many days that I thought that they gave up.
So we're ecstatic. We're happy that arrests have been made to the local West Philly gang, the O2DA4. We know that they're allegedly responsible for other murders and other shootings. Gangs have been plaguing the city of Philadelphia since the government shutdown. Last year we finished with almost 600 homicides. This year we well over 500 homicides and almost 3,000 people shot. Anthony Woodson, as you can see here, was arrested in connection with Sicarr Johnson and Saladin's murder on the 4th of July. Also, Jalen Mickens, as you can see here, and a whole host of others from the O2DA4 gang. You know, a lot of these young men are getting gunned down, and they're gunning each other's down, and the city is in just full disarray. And the people are afraid and they don't know what to do. This was a murder that happened last year on the 4th of July, when that weekend, 37 people were shot in 2 days here in the city of Philadelphia, man. I'm glad that we're finally getting some type of closure to this. Sicarr Johnson Sr. is a friend of mine. We grew up together, and his son, Junior, didn't grow up under the same circumstances that me and his father grew up in. His son was a good kid. His son was an entrepreneur. His son was, owned a clothing store in West Philadelphia. He was a nerd. That's why I created Urban Nerds, for kids like Sicarr Johnson Jr. And sometimes our kids, they grow up in communities and they grew up on blocks with other kids, and some of these other kids that are in gangs sometimes are their friends. And they're not involved, but their friends are. And that stuff just comes knocking at your door. Sicarr Jr. died in one of my friends, Sicarr Sr.'s arms. My homie lost his son. He died in his arms, man, that night at that block party. He has such a promising future. Such a promising future. And it's a sad thing that we have so many devastated and broken families, man, here in the city of Philadelphia. So I'm glad that there's some form of closure coming to my friend and Sicarr Jr.'s mother. And I hope that we can solve more murders and bring more closure to the families that's been devastated by gun violence here in the city of Philadelphia. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share, and leave a comment in the comment section. And make sure y'all hit that like button. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.